Allison gives Essex hope with lower order 50. Despite resistance from Dan Lawrence and the unbeaten Paul Walter, Essex still reached the close of play on day 2 on the ropes. With a lead of just 45, they'd have to keep up the fight on the third day of play. But the morning brought with it more cause for concern for the hosts. Ben Rain struck early to remove Simon Harmer for just 6. Walter joined Lawrence on 50 soon after, a defiant knock, but just how telling his effort had been remained to be seen. Ben Allison was up for the fight too. The pair forged a 50 partnership and moved their lead beyond 100. Suddenly, Essex's route to victory in this match looked more likely, but if they were going to navigate that path, they'd have to do it without Paul Walter. Cass was once again the difference maker for Durham, out for 77 and the tail exposed. Just 2 wickets to get. Sam Cook in at 9 was standing firm, while Allison continued to tick along. Were Durham starting to feel some nerves? Well, they'd have to return to the field after lunch, looking to wrap up their hosts' innings. The score at the interval, 277 for 8, but the lead 114. Allison was the key for Essex. His innings continued after lunch, and he took his side to 300 runs. Together with Cook, they'd scramble past 300, the lead now approaching 150. Durham captain Borthwick looking exasperated after yet another near miss. Allison found his way to 50 with a little bit of luck, but this was a fine innings that had added fire to what was once a faint glimmer of hope for Essex. And by the time they'd reached the early tea break, Essex were back in it, and the score was 318 for 8. They led by 155. As a mark of respect, all 9 LV County Championship matches paused on Saturday to coincide with the funeral of His Royal Highness Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh, alongside observing the 1-minute silence at 3 p.m. Allison's innings came to an end shortly after the resumption, Cass keeping up his knack of taking the key wickets, out for 52. Sam Cook was in the 30s. Essex's lead was a precarious one. Could he restore that momentum with just 1 wicket in hand? In a word, no. No prizes for guessing the identity of his wicket-taker. Bryden Cass wrapped up the innings with his 5th. Essex all out for 330, but the target for Durham, a tricky 167. Their second go was much more productive for the hosts. 50s from Lawrence, Walter and Allison lower down the order accounted for their lead. Cass shone for Durham. His figures of 5 for 82 included the scalps of all of Essex's biggest scorers. Will Young's wicket went down in the second over of the chase. An ill-advised leave saw him bowled by the first ball he faced. There was still no score on the board when Lees had to go too. Porter had him trapped LBW in the next over. Was Durham's opportunity slipping? Borthwick finally got Durham off the mark in the 6th over, to much relief. They were into double figures thanks to David Bedingham, as Jamie Porter tested the outside half of his bat. And it must have felt very good to get one away out of the middle finally, 4 through mid-wicket. But he wasn't around for too much longer, out for 18, and Durham back in the mire at 20 for 3. Jack Burnham was the next man in, and he was showing intent straight away, taking on the dangerous Simon Harmer, while at the other end, Borthwick had batted 90 minutes for just 8 runs. They'd passed 50 late in the day, Durham's difficulties drifting away as the target now dropped. And Burnham was playing the perfect knock in the circumstances, here launching Dan Lawrence over the ropes. By the time they'd reached the close, the score was 60 for 3, and Durham needed just 108 to win.